Good morning. Today my teammates and I are going to talk about the analysis of the pop industry in the United States from the years 2000 till 2019. The music industry is one of the biggest and most influential ones, not only in the world but in the US mainly, since this is the country at the cradle of the entertainment industry. This sector produces billions of dollars annually, with the pop genre on the lead. Artists such as Taylor Swift, Ariana Grande, Billie Eilish stand out in the streaming numbers, being in the first positions all year round. Pop, it's not just a music genre, it's more than that. It's a wave of influence for the people who listen. It impacts generations and pushes them to act, dress, or think in a certain way. Music has always been expressed in different ways, attracting different types of people. That's why pop is the most influential genre, because it's appealing to almost everyone, even if you don't listen to it by choice. In today's analysis, we will study the economic, social, political, and cultural impact it has had among societies for the past.
Financial impact on the pop industry on the country's economy. Well, the music economy is an important penetration for American society as it generates high income, increases job creation, and it strengthens the run of series. Music tourism in the last decade had generated billions of dollars for the economy annually. Among the tourist assets are the festivals, historical millennium stores of music, characters, and live concerts. Well, a 2013 Nashville Music Industry Report concludes that the pop music industry has helped create and maintain more than 50,000 local jobs and contributed $5.5 billion to the country's local economy, support more than $3.2 billion for labor economy annually. Well, the next year, in 2014, Nashville, Tennessee received more than 30 million visitors and contributed more than $5 billion in revenue. Another report provided by the 2012 census tells you the live music industry alone generated $1 billion in spending and equivalent support of 162,000 full-time jobs that year. Similarly, Rolling Stones magazine estimated that in 2013, pop music directly contributed $3 billion to the USA economy and directly employed 111,000. Tells that the pop industry is a sector that generates high income and make the United States one of the leading countries in the music industry.
When we talk about the influence of the pop industry in our society today, we have to go way back to the year 2K. With this, it brought so many cultural things, so many social dilemmas, so many moral things. And that has been seen in our music and lyrics throughout the years. Not only their lifestyle, but their music, the lyrics, the sounds. This can help build character, behavior, and morals. Like mentioned before, this goes especially towards our youth. With this being said, we can know for a fact that music really has the power to influence. But in our society today, in the last 20 years, we have seen so much remarkable influence from the stars. The faces of the music and this industry become an influence to our society, especially amongst
Platforms and social media. Although music has existed for centuries, the truth is that the way of publicizing it and making it to reach the whole world, not just North American society, has evolved by leaps and bounds in the last 2 decades of the 21st century. The way in which the American society consumes music has completely shifted since the early 2000s. With the youth more involved in the consumption of pop music back in the early 2000s, record labels and publicists needed to move more to develop strategies that will bring American youth closer. Going from promoting discs with simple presentations to using streaming platforms such as YouTube, social media like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, even TikTok nowadays, and even promoting bands or musicians through virtual reality nowadays because of pandemic. Actually, there is a fact that says that consumers beginning in the 2010s have paid subscriptions to online streaming platforms on their mobile devices, giving them millions of songs at their fingertips. This is a way different. This is a way different way of listening to music, even though back in 2000 in 19 back in 1990s it wasn't even possible. Nowadays it's one of the only ways to listen to new music. With the appearance of platforms such as Ares, YouTube, and eventually Spotify, Apple Music, SoundCloud, Pandora, and Tidal, or whatever, a social codependency was created, causing new generations to know no other way of listening to music but if it's not through the platforms already mentioned. The question here is how these platforms manage to change the generations and the way of listening to music. Well, the answer is easy. Well, not that easy, but it's kind of easy. The answer is the algorithm. The algorithm is a new personalized way of giving the users a different way of listening to music. The major streaming platforms have done a great job giving their users the music the music they only want in the form of personalized. How is this? Well, you don't get to listen to music that you don't want. Now, this algorithm is not just giving my information as unique as one or personalized. They are actually giving the information of a completely generation, like of the whole society. In an era where politicians are known for their use of Twitter, music is a primary driver of the interactions with social media. So this algorithm is giving us the information that it's because of music that people is getting into social media, and then it's spreading to the whole world, not just to the North American society. Actually, it says that pop music is the primary driver of interactions of social media.
So now let's talk about the political regulations in the industry. In the late 90s and early 2000s, tech companies were all the rage and the US government wanted to propel them. So the US Congress gave them Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act and the DMCA Safe Harbors. This section says that no provider or user of an interactive computer service shall be treated as the publisher or speaker of any information provided by other content provider. There are some limitations to copyright in the US, such as non-profit music festivals, radio musical performances in restaurants or small businesses, including bars, cafes, restaurants, etc., that play music as a background. Fair use is also an exception in copyright protection that allows a limited use of copyrighted music without the copywriter's permission. Parody and commentary are other exceptions as well. But how does illegal copying affect the legitimate music market? There are three sources of income in the market: hard copies, broadcast, live performances, in which artists make most of the money from, especially the live performances. Any profits may fall because it loses distribution channel, displacing legitimate sales, streams.
Now, in conclusion, the music of the pop genre produced in the United States is strongly positioned in music culture. The interesting aspect of this musical genre is the influence it has on the world, not just in North American society. That can be seen reflected in the musical standard that implicitly accompanies the vast majority of areas of any person's life, like the way of dress, the way of thinking, the way of speaking, the slang that you use. In other words, listening to pop music is more likely than listening to any other type of music. It's more than just music. As we said before, in many occasions, it's not just music, but it's a way of living. Thank you so much for listening and hope you enjoy it.